G'day guys, in this video we're going to develop a site plan and we're going to use our floor plans. We're going to take information from this and transfer it onto the site plan DWG file. So you should all be at this point in your projects where at least your floor plans have been complete and hopefully your sectional elevations. We're going to go onto your project page. So you're going to go to Teams, go to the top and get onto your project page. You're going to scroll down to your site plan. There you're going to click on it, go to your three dots and download. Right, we're then going to open that site plan. It should open adjacent to your floor plan. If it's not up here, it'll certainly be a new tab down the bottom here alongside your floor plan. So what do we need to do? Go to our floor plans, right? And we're going to highlight all this information, okay? And we're going to control C it and we're going to control paste it into the model space in your site plan. So we go to the model space, control V, and you'll see what it looks like in relation to your site. And then we're going to drop it next to the site. Before I do anything, because this is your patio or the patio here, all right, and this is Reese Cole, so thank you to Reese for allowing us to use this as an example. If you look out off the patio, you want to be looking at the ocean. And if you have a look here, in terms of our site plan, the ocean is towards this end here. All right, so we're going to go to our model space, and what I'll do is I will rotate this so that we get a nice, pretty much a 90-degree flip on that. Make sure we're in our 90-degree, our perpendicular snap, and there we go. So that is the sort of the layout we need in order to get the patio portion or the entertainment area facing towards the ocean. I'm going to come in here now and I'm going to delete all the annotations with regards to dimensions, because we're going to be working outside, just on the outside of the external edge of the wall. Right, and we can certainly get rid of that there as well. Okay, so I'm going to go create a new layer. I'm going to call it dwelling, because this is the proposed new dwelling we are preparing for the site plan. I'm going to make that a red color. We're going to use our South African national standard, so it's new masonry. The line weight we're going to ensure is on about a 0.5, and we must make sure that the line type is continuous. I'm quickly then going to go and trace, if you like, with my perpendicular snap on the outside perimeter of the walls. However, I need to make sure that I'm on dwelling. So there we go. I'm going to just quickly go trace that, including your patio. We're going to corner off or create a boundary for the patio by itself in a moment. Right, we're going to pull that all the way through to the far end, then come back to the patio and make sure we give it its own border or boundary by tracing again the external edge of the wall or external line. Right, so that's the dwelling boundary that we need. And what I'll do now is hide the dwelling, right? The dwelling layer. Turn it off. And we're going to go have a look at the walls that are adjacent to plumbing features. So here's a bathroom tile. There's a bathroom here. So this external line is the line we're going to use in a moment. Here's a sink, and this external line is one we're going to use. And here's a bathroom here. So we just need one line along this edge of the property and one line along here, a plumbing line. And they're going to have to meet up and then carry the waste to a septic tank. So what I'll do here is first create a new layer property, and I'm going to call it plumbing. Okay, you can call it sewer, plumbing, whatever you prefer. And I'm going to make that brown because sand specific is brown. Good. It's not continuous, it should be chain, so center. And we're going to definitely tone that down to about a 0.15. You can decide on that, as long as it's nowhere near as thick as your dwelling boundary. Okay, we're going to turn that on. You can see it's borrowed firstly from dwelling, so we're going to make sure that that's on. Okay, then I'm going to take the offset command, right? And I'm going to offset a meter off the external edge of the wall. Generally, we should be around a 500 mil, but we're going to go with 1,000 because then we will definitely see the information communicated well in the site plan, right? And I'm actually going to, because I'm going to move this plumbing all the way around the external edge of this wall, I'm going to then pull that and this across, and then this wall across. And I'm going to very quickly overlap all of these, right? In fact, this is going to work quite nicely because it's going to be the line that we're going to plumb out from the water closet. All right. So I'm going to pull that out. In fact, let me not do that. Let me trim that. Let's take this away because this will be maybe slightly unique in its own sense. And you'll see what I mean by that now. So I'm going to pull that across, pull that back. All right, here we go. And I'm going to pull that all the way through to the end here, just past the external, that edge of the house, because we'll have our septic tank out there somewhere. Now, what I will do here is every time I have a feature, so every time we have a water closet, it'll have its own 45 connecting point that runs in the direction. The angle will go 45 in the direction of the flow of the plumbing or the sewer line. These two, I'm going to assume that we're going to plumb them to out the same point onto the main line. So let's go get our 45-degree snap on. I'm going to start here. I'm probably going to center it or come maybe just to the inside edge of the wall. And I'm going to go 45 off there. I'm on dwelling at the moment. I want to be on plumbing. It's a bit silly. Let's do it again. So we're going to go 45. There it is. Now, this I won't do at 45 because if I do 45, it's going to move into the wall there. So I'm going to center it, external edge of the wall, center it, and I'm just going to come straight out onto the plumbing line here. Let's do that again. Sorry. Center that from there and the center of get a nice snap on there. There we go. And we'll run that and continue that onto that corner. And we can pull that across. We're going to trim the following. Right. I'm going to trim there and I'm going to trim there. I'm always, when I turn a corner, I'm going to leave a little bit of an extension for a rotting eye. Now, it doesn't always have to have that. You can have, I'm going to bring inspection chambers as well. I'm going to pull that in a little bit to there. We don't need the rotting eye extended too far beyond those turns. I'm going to come back in here with my 45, go to this kitchen sink, going to get more or less a center position there, move it out at 45 in the direction of flow. Come back here as well. We're going to do it from the external edge of the wall for this water closet, more or less in the middle, just using my own good proportion. And then we're going to do the same here. Instead of me coming off this edge of the wall, we're going to pipe these two from here, from just in line on the inside edge of the wall with a shower, right? And we're going to trim there, and trim the rest. Okay, there we need to. Right, so we've got the plumbing lines all in, not connected to a septic tank as yet, and that's fine. What I will do now is hide my plumbing line. Okay, turn it off. Now these need to be attributed to plumbing line, and as I do that, they should disappear. Okay, if that happens to you. Then I'm going to move the floor plan to the side, and now I will go and show the dwelling itself along with the plumbing lines. So I'm going to copy or move this onto the property line or into the property within the building line. Remember this dark line you see is the building line. We're going to move it in without having to do too much moving of trees. Some we will have to. In fact, I would suggest that all three of those we'll have to remove over here and one of these at least. Right, so there we go. That's using the property quite nicely. There we go. That'll work. So I'm going to come in here very quickly and I'm going to delete all the information inside this tree, the transparency, as well as all the line work. So there's a gradient inside there as well as the lines. Okay, I'm going to come in here. Again, same thing. Get rid of those lines on the inside. Just keep deleting that information on the inside. You have to just be a little bit sort of work in each individually. Then I'm going to highlight all these trees. All right. And I'm going to give it the building line layer because that's in chain line. And I'm also going to, while I'm in there, go mode properties, make sure they're highlighted, and I'm going to line type scale this 10. You can do 15 or whatever. And the reason why I'm doing that is if I go to my site plan, that is 10, and now that's 10, so you can see it. If we left it at 1, we wouldn't see the chain line on those trees, and therefore we wouldn't have to remove them. All right, so I'm going to remove all those trees. And alternatively, I can come back a little bit on that and say, hold on, let's leave potentially these two there because they're not in the way. So I can go highlight those, just make sure that they are on a line type scale 10. Okay, so no need to remove those because those don't interfere with the wall. Okay, so all in place. I'm going to go into the site plan. Well, before I go into the site plan, I'm going to add myself a septic tank over here. So I'm going to just draw it to the side here, just in good proportion, nothing too big. I'm going to make sure that that is just the normal line weighting. I'm going to explode this because generally what we want to show is a 3-tiered system for the septic tank. So I'm going to click on that line and go, see, I've exploded it so I can isolate that line. I'm going to divide command, divide, enter. I want to divide that line into 3 parts. Can't see it, so I come in here, go to my point styles, and I'm going to make sure that my point styles are set to across so that they become visual or easy to see. Drop it down in perpendicular. There's our 3-tier system. Perfect. I'm going to delete those now, and I'm going to move this into place along here in line with the edge there. I'm going to bring that a bit longer. The reason I want to create, oh, hold on, that's not centered. Let's make sure we center that. You can obviously create this. You can create this into a block if you want, so you don't have so many lines. So you don't have to manipulate as many lines. Sorry. I'm going to pull that up, connect it to the septic tank. I'm going to go add a circle in here because you'll know that just before we enter the septic tank, we want a manhole. So I'm going to go trim that about. Perfect. I'm going to go across to the site plan. You're welcome to label in there, but I'm going to label on top here because we've got everything ready to go. All right, what do we need to label? Inspection hours, rodding hours, as well as inspection chambers if we need them. So I'm going to use writing that already exists. In fact, I'll probably take these, just grab those two, Control C. Alternatively, you can go text again and start with your text. And we're going to come here. We're going to start with inspection hours. So IEs are what we're going to do. It's in brown, and I'm going to bring it down to about a 2.5. So it's seen, but it's a little bit smaller. It's not too imposing. I'm going to make sure that that's on annotations or the normal default. Coming down to annotations, and I'm going to copy it. We're going to have one there. I'm going to come off my perpendicular so I can move around. We're going to have a inspection hour there as well. So wherever a plumbing feature meets the main line, we're going to show an inspection hour to be placed. Okay, there as well as over here. Right, then we're going to do rodding hours. So we're going to come here, change the text here to rodding hour. Here it is. Okay, so you would want your rodding hour to, hold on a second. You can see how big that is. I'm going to just reduce that just for the sake of ease. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to move that over there. So we have a rodding iron so that we can get in there, and if we need to, we can rod with the pipe that section. We want to be able to rod that section, and we want to be able to rod that section. What I will do there is come in and just shorten that a little bit so that the rodding eye label isn't completely covering that. There we go. So if I come across to the side plan, there we are. Can even move that in a little bit now. Good. Let's do that one more time. You have to zoom in really if you want to get that precision that you're looking for sometimes. Okay, copy CO. I'm going to pull that up again. So the rodding eye, do I need it? I don't need a rodding eye again, luckily. What you might want to do here is have an inspection chamber. And I'll tell you why. It's because I suppose I could rod from that inspection eye, but I'm going to add an inspection chamber here because I want that. I just feel like we need that additional, just on here. I feel like we need that additional Oopsie, I've clicked into it here, so I need to go back out into my model space so I can zoom in and out. I want to make sure that I can inspect in that section purely because the rodding R, which I probably could bend around this corner, I could probably get a rodding all because there probably be a 45 here and not necessarily a T section, which but in saying that, it's probably wise to have a T section. So the inspection eye here, I think, is good so that if we do need to rod, we can rod from the inspection eye up that way. Good. Sorry, inspection chamber. So all in place, looking good. One more thing, control copy one of these, place it next to that and just say MH for manhole. And our plumbing is set in place other than a ST for septic tank over here. Here we go. Let's go back here to our model. Sorry, let's get out of that. Back to our model. I want to make ensure that the lines on the inside here, so all of this for me is set to the same line type. Let's move this over, see if we can get the ST scene so that it's all in one. It's a bit too big, so I'm going to bring this down to a size 2 writing. There we go. So now we can see it. Scale that down to 2 as the text size. Now everything is in place. The only thing we can't see so nicely is the plumbing itself. So I'm going to go click on this and I'm going to go select similar. It should bring up all the line type that's the same. And then I'm going to line type scale 10. Come back to my site plan and you'll notice I can see the chain line. That's perfect. So that's it. That's done in terms of plumbing. Last thing to do, right, is add writing in. This space here, it's going to say proposed new dwelling. New dwelling. Okay. Need to come out here and just grab I think it's the corner here. Right. Not very good. Let's pull that across a little bit. There we go. We can pull that down, make sure it's all in one. Then we're going to control copy, control V into this space, and then that will be patio. It's also good if you've got a standalone carport somewhere here, you want to add it as well. All right. I think that's all for now. However, I'm not seeing the trees to be removed. So what I'm going to do is go in here and make sure that I've got that as a building line, because I'm just wanting to borrow that layer type and just make sure it's 10, set it to 10, go back to the site plan. Oh, there we go. It's showing. Perfect. Here, site plan, scale stays the same. Site plan, you add your name and put your date in. It should be number 3. This is the third working drawing. So everything's sorted and in place, and that's how we construct our site plans.